Hi Taurus, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to your March reading. So there's quite a bit happening in the astrology this month, so I'm going to talk about that a little bit and then we get into your cards, okay? So the first most important thing is that Mercury is changing signs. It's the planet of the mind, intelligence, memory, concentration, ideas, communication, travel as well. So that is moving from Aquarius into Pisces on the 2nd of March, and then it moves into Aries on the 19th, okay? So that is taking place in your 11th house, your 12th house, and that is really lighting up your global, thought processes, your long-term plans and things that you're releasing and so on. So collectively, of course, we go through these changes, but it impacts us personally as well. Then we have a full moon taking place in Virgo, another earth sign, so it's going to be benefiting you in a nice way, and that is going to be in your, in your 5th house, I believe. I have the chart right here, so you can see wherever there is a written completion, that's where the full moon is. Basically, it talks about culmination, fulfillment, topics coming up to light, so there can be some new ideas, birth of creativities, conception of new, ventures, things like that can occur. There can be a rise in self-love. Perhaps you prioritize some personal interests and priorities around this time, or create a pivot point, kind of change your plans about how you have been doing things so far, and therefore that edit kind of fulfills you and fills you up with new hope for times to come. The same day we have Saturn moving into Pisces, and it was in Aquarius for like 3 years and it will be in Pisces for 3 years. So it's a big transit, and whenever these bigger planets make these zodiacal changes, it creates collective shifts. So we were more concerned about freedom of speech, freedom of being, freedom, and not having the freedom. The collective mindset, what are people and humanity as at large allowed to do, or what should we do, what do we owe to each other, things like that. Then now when it comes into Pisces, it takes on a different flavor. It impacts your spiritual body, your emotional body. There can be a sense of trying to create structures where there are no structures at this time. So wherever it's kind of free flowing, sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. Saturn might be impacting those areas. For you specifically, it would be your 11th house again, and that's where restrictions are forming. Again, it's a very meaningful and purposeful restriction, so we release the things that are not useful so that we can make more space for things that are, right? So very important. And then in the 3rd week, we have a lot of activity going on. I'm not going to get into all of that. So if you're interested to know more about what that is and how it's impacting you, and if it is impacting you deeply or not, I will be posting more on my community page. So you can subscribe, click the bell, and the community page will kind of alert you whenever I post something, and then you are notified. Okay, but I will mention that on the 16th, we do have Venus, your ruler, coming into your zodiac. So that's an amazing time for you. It gives you that boost of luck. Despite all of the activity that is going on in this particular week, you still have luck and fortune kind of surrounding you. Okay, Venus is the planet of abundance and beauty and harmony as well. So somehow things have a way of working themselves out amidst the chaos. Then I mentioned 19th, Mercury moving into Aries already. Right the next day, we have the spring equinox 2021, depending on where you live. The sun moves into Aries, and it's the new year for astrology, basically, in an astrological sense, since Aries is the first zodiac. So we have sun moving in there, and then we have a new moon taking place, which signifies a brand new beginning. Okay, this is the newest of beginnings that we can possibly imagine. So any intentions you might have for new beginnings, this is an excellent time to put that into implementation. See it through, take initiative, be bold, brave, don't dream small, and don't cut yourself short. That's basically this. Fortune favors the bold, the brave. That's the motto here when we're in Aries season. Then on the 23rd, massive change here. We have Pluto moving into Aquarius, and Pluto is the planet for purging, transformation, regeneration, letting the old behavior, subconscious patterns kind of die so that we can be reborn like a phoenix in a new form, and having a different sense of vitality. So it's going to be in Aquarius for 20 years, but in this particular year, it's kind of dipping in a little bit, showing us a bit of a trailer and then going back into Capricorn, okay? But this little bit of a trailer is going to be, you know, important to know what comes up ahead, and that is taking place in Aquarius. So wherever the label of purge is written, you will see that that's the Pluto. Then on the 25th, we have Mars moving into Cancer, and that's a huge one as well. It has been there in Gemini forever, like 7 months or so. And finally, it's moving from an air sign where it is relatively more comfortable to a water sign, which is right opposite its element. It's a fiery planet in a watery sign. So it can be that emotions kind of bubble up to the surface. Things that we have been suppressing and denying comes up to the surface for examination or taking action on it. It's sort of like, there is the garbage, we need to deal with that, right? Or this is what we enjoy, but we don't allow ourselves to enjoy, and we must bring that out. We enjoy it, so we're going to use it. We're going to, make it a priority. And also home and family, these types of things can also become prioritized more. The way that you think, the way that you take action, those things can also come up here, okay? So Mars is the planet of action and activity, so that's usually where the busyness is. It might be a little bit imbalanced, to be very honest, but regardless, it's more about a flavor, a different type of expression. We can't, it's going to be our emotions and intuition that give us the bearing, basically. That's going to be the balancing point, instead of trying to force something to happen. So if it doesn't feel right, there is no point in forcing yourself. That's essentially the lesson here, I think. And in the last week as well, we have a couple of aspects going on. Not going to talk about it. It will be there in the community. So yes, if you're interested, you can check it out. Let's see. The major theme of the month for you is faith with the waxing crescent moon. Okay, so something requiring faith here. Perhaps there is a need for patience. You are a very stable earth sign, so I don't think that's an issue per se. But it might be that you also don't have a practical way of going about things. For example, it might be like total faith. You can't do anything about it. You can't think anything about it. Perhaps you don't have any communication, any back and forth going on. Or there is communication, but it's not that clear. Or there are a lot of other things that need to be worked out that might delay the final confirmation of certain things, and that's where faith comes in. It can be a couple of scenarios. We'll see as we go what that might be. Okay, then we have the door, which says opportunities are waiting for you. It's very nice to see. Then we have carrot, which says opportunity or windfall. Nice, 2 cards of opportunities. That's amazing. Then we have knot, which says unsuccessful plans. Okay, that's such a contradiction, right? It's like some opportunity comes in, doesn't work out, but it makes way for something bigger, okay, or better, something like that. Some travel plan does not work, but then you edit and you go to some other place, but you find that you enjoy it a lot more, or some job opportunity, something of that sort is taking place here. Or it can be that you have so many different options that you don't really know what might work or what is the best fit or not. So it's a matter of trying it out and seeing what doesn't work. I feel like it's the process of elimination as well, through which you might make decisions this particular month. But definitely you have multiple choices and opportunities coming up for you in every area of life, especially the ones you're more focused on. Okay, then we have the 3 of Wands, which is one of my favorite cards to get, because it talks about luck, fortune, and affirmations working out. You're seeing signs that your efforts are paying off. You're going one step by step. And yes, there is that message that you don't know the full picture yet, but how can you know unless you reach it already? So this is kind of that I'm on the journey towards something very hopeful, something that can bring me a lot more than I'm expecting at this time, because I don't even know what's at the other end. In a nice way, right? So 3 of Wands is literally the card of faith, and it's very nice that it's here, which indicates you have the faith and you're exercising it throughout the opportunities. So the best way to turn it around is just be like, if something doesn't work, it's a blessing in disguise anyway, because it literally is making a path for something even better. It really is, right? Okay, then we have the King of Swords. King of Swords, then we have the Two of Swords. We have the Ace of Pentacles, which is the card of opportunities and potential. That's nice. Then we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so very good combinations. This indicates wherever you've been feeling a sense of lack or loneliness, as if you've been doing a lot by yourself, or that you don't have enough to make ends meet and so on, it seems like there is a new beginning in that particular area that brings you some more faith. It can be a new income source, or it can be an opportunity, like a conversation. It can be literally a job offer. It can be moving someplace where you have more connections that you can form. More realistic expectations as well come under this category. Then we have Two of Swords and King, which is also amazing combination, because something where you were confused and felt stuck. Whenever you think about it, what feels like a knot, basically? Is it in the mind? Is it in certain plans? Something like that, which has not worked out already, or is at the moment a struggle for you? That thing is clearing out. The King of Swords rises above his problems and he observes the problems from a distance. That's how he solves it. It does not personalize himself with the situation. He believes that you are not your thoughts. You can manipulate your thoughts and your surrounding circumstances. Reality is an illusion, and it's very much subject to your preconceived notions, and also the collective's, preconceived notions as well, of course. But either way, we can't control the collective. We can only decide for ourselves. So the king then decides that I will be the authority. I will take the position of control here, and I will be in charge of my thoughts and the words that I say to myself and also to other people. So it can be that your communication skills are up leveling, the things that you were not very confident with, that you were learning about, you're becoming a lot more confident. Some of you can also become teachers or mentors or take on that role temporarily to teach other people, and that gives you that boost of confidence. Either way, there is a sense of feeling boosted and like there is a fresh new beginning and start kind of waiting for you, and it's already happening in the background. That's the vibe that's coming through. Then we have fall in love with your own story. Yeah, whenever I see this type of up and down or dynamic reading, and by the way, this low phase could have already happened. I'm not saying if it is already ongoing, then it's not going to be ongoing in March. Basically, it's going to be resolved. And if you're not feeling it yet, it can be that little snags happen. Fives and twos are like little things that happen which require a sort of adjustment in the process, okay? Fives are about pivot point. We need to change our mindset about something or the way that we do something, and as soon as we restructure, things come into flow again. But either way, whenever I see this up and down type of reading, I usually get this card, fall in love with your own story, because it's really that life's a wave and you gotta ride it, you gotta go with it. Enlightened people don't suddenly have seamless lives with no problems at all. It's just that they're okay with the problems and they're okay with not the problems, because they have faith in themselves and they can deal with things. They have trust in the way of the universe or whatever it is. Perhaps it's different for different people, but either way, there is a certain level of faith where you trust in things that are in you, outside of you, or both, to get you through things. And it's again bringing me back to the King of Swords vibe, that you are more objective in general this month, where you're like, okay, this situation is not very fun. Let me look at it as a situation and see how I can resolve it. And that's when you see so many opportunities. Okay? Opportunity to learn, to expand, to grow, to connect with new people, to go out and look for something else, to expand your knowledge, incorporate different knowledges that you already have, to make something new out of it. There's a lot that can come out of it, and it's sensing that objectivity leading to creativity and opportunities, and it's just very nice. But it does require some level of objectivity, a kind of zoning out, looking at something from a bigger picture. That's definitely there. Okay. Then we have ambush fear with your ferocious dream. This is bringing me to the Aries influences. Perhaps it's more applicable towards the later half of the month. But it says that once you decide on something, don't back down. And once again, you are a Taurus. That is inherent to you. So I'm sure you got this. But yes, it's just motivating you one more time that there's no need to be afraid. There's no need to stop yourself. Don't block yourself. Don't limit yourself. You know, just go for it. If you decide that this is it, it is it. It is it. You make it, right? You go for that. So yeah, don't be apologetic about it. Go for it. Even if there are like some things you've not figured out, you will figure out along the way. 3 of Wands can talk about that, learning as you go, and being excited for the learning and growth process itself. There can be some experimentation, development, things that you're working on as well. And usually when we are in the process of something, we don't already have everything figured out by nature, right? It's obvious. So yes, you're figuring it out either way. Awesome. And also you'll gain a lot of wisdom and mental strength from this entire month. And you'll be a lot clearer about where you are headed, honestly. Okay, in the big picture. Oh, speaking of the big picture, we have the telescope, which makes faraway objects visible. Gives it more detail. So even if it's still far away, the planet is really far away, but we somehow see it like, oh hey, there are the craters. I can see the little dots on the moon, or you know, the ring around Saturn, or whatever it is, depending on the strength of the telescope. But either way, you see something far away as if it's so close. That's also a very integral part about faith and manifesting through faith, right? You've believed that something that seemingly is far away doesn't have to be far away. It's like right here. I can almost taste it. I can almost sense it. It's that type of vibe that I'm getting. And that's why when you're so close, don't give up. It's that kind of vibe too. So if you know that this is the dream, this is what you want to be doing, this is that road that leads you to your aspirations, don't back down. Don't back down, okay? If you can see it, feel it, sense it, you can most likely achieve it. And you, with your strength, your tenacity, perseverance, all of that, you got this. It's just a matter of, you know, deciding that this is it. The final will has to be so much. And Aries season is absolutely perfect to gather up some will, to harness that willpower that's already there in a very constructive way. Very nice. You know, this number has been following me around forever. Like this entire week, I've seen this number. Okay, so we have 3333, which basically says your guides are near you, and be open to inspiration, new ideas, and that many of these are emerging at this time. And when things are emerging, I'm going to remind you again, it can feel a little bit cloudy. It might be like, no, I don't know, I don't see it, I don't understand, I don't get any ideas. What's happening? I thought I was getting ideas. You just don't. It's not yet fully formulated for it to become so conscious yet. It's something that's working in the backdrop, okay? So perhaps meditating more. And by the way, 2 of Swords can be resolved through intuition. So meditating more, spending some time in isolation, not in the sense that you're lonely, but to figure stuff out. That is going to be very important. Also, with like big picture plans, you gotta sit and think. You gotta contemplate on things, right? For it to become a little bit more clear. 3s also talk about mind, body, spirit, or utilizing the Holy Trinity in some way. It talks about creation, preservation, destruction. There are so many 3s that we have around us. So whatever it is most closely with you, that's what it's talking about here. It means harness the material, the etheric, and also the emotional, or the mental, to make magic happen. Use everything at your disposal. You have the intention, you speak it out. So you have the thought, you have the feeling, and you have the action, right? The 3s. Everything that's operating in 3s. Oh, nice. We have the 3 circles going on here as well. Past, present, and future. All of these things. There can be a lot of interconnectedness that you are seeing this particular month, okay? And March is the 3rd month as well. That's very interesting. And 3 of Wands, ultimately, it's about faith, it's about hope, and that is guiding you towards more and more doors, opening up more and more opportunities and avenues for you in whichever area of life that you're feeling a little bit stuck, okay? Wow. So let's see what we have for Taurus in the month of March. We have Cancer, Mars in the 2nd house. Yes, so yeah, you might be driven to gather more financial resources. There can be a rise in, your security as well. The trust you put, you might be reprioritizing according to what feels good, what does not feel good as well. You are more motivated, again, emotionally and spiritually. You're more motivated to make something emotionally stable, sustainable, and long-lasting for yourself. And yes, there are plenty of financial and material blessings as well, which are valuable to you on a deeper level that can come through. So you might be purchasing some things that make you feel good, but you might also be getting gifted certain things, or you have the money, or you get the money to be able to go out and get something of that sort. You might be selling something that is emotionally valuable to other people as well, and that's how you're earning too. Second house does talk about the self-esteem, your sense of security, material and all others. Also the what do you value in life. Yeah, there can be some shuffling going on here. There's a little bit of a change in what you find important, and accordingly you're shifting direction, and that's benefiting you for the longer run. So yes, that's what I have for you, Taurus. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.